Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
3D printing technology has led to the creation of a fascinating array of three-dimensional objects. The first 3D printer was invented in the early 1980s, and after decades of development, the technology has advanced rapidly. 3D printing, an affordable and sustainable housing solution. Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out what 3D printing technology can do.
Vegan, killer of injustice.
Karibu, beloved viewers, that's welcome in Swahili, one of the official languages spoken in Zanzibar. I'm Idris. The high-spirited people of Zanzibar thank the world's inventors for their high-tech innovations that help our planet become more sustainable. May you create many more great inventions through heaven's grace. Welcome to 3D printing, an affordable and sustainable housing solution, part 1 of 2 on Golden Age technology. 3D printing technology has led to the creation of a fascinating array of three-dimensional objects. The first 3D printer was invented in the early 1980s, and after decades of development, the technology has advanced rapidly, where today it can be used to print many more items than most people realize, from tiny objects to large buildings. With the world facing a housing shortage, 3D printing is not only speeding up the automation of construction, but also reducing costs. In our two-part series, we'll learn how companies are using this technology to build functional, affordable homes. According to statistics from the United Nations, about 1.6 billion people live in substandard housing and over 100 million are homeless. Countries all over the world are trying to find solutions for a massive shortage of homes with expanding populations. Today, companies are using 3D printing technology to revolutionize the construction industry, as they believe this new approach could make construction faster, cheaper, and more sustainable. One of these companies is California-based Mighty Buildings, which plans to start building 15 homes using prefabricated 3D printed panels at the end of this year, with the home set to be finished by 2022. Sam Rubin, the co-founder and chief sustainability officer of Mighty Buildings, says, "With 3D printing, we are able to print exactly what we need. It's effectively zero-waste construction, meaning we are eliminating the 3 to 5 pounds per square foot that goes to landfills in a traditional build, which adds up to about 2 to 3 tons of carbon per unit." Mighty Buildings' method reduces labor hours by 90% per unit. Mr. Rubin thinks that 3D printing could also solve the current issue of labor shortages in home construction. This summer, the first ever affordable 3D printed home was built in Malawi, Africa. The successful debut of the home has brought hope for solving the severe lack of affordable homes that the country is experiencing.
This is Africa's first 3D printed affordable home. The walls took just 12 hours to build. Its carbon footprint is 70% smaller than traditional constructed housing. The house is in Lilongwe, Malawi. It was built by an organization called 14 Trees, which is the number of trees saved per home by not firing bricks. In August, it will start building the world's largest 3D printed affordable housing project in Kenya in partnership with building materials company Wholesome. 3D printed housing is starting to go up all over the world. It's being used to house homeless people in Austin, Texas, and to build an entire community in Mexico. This year saw the first 3D printed homes in the Netherlands and in India. Would you live in a 3D printed house?
14 Trees is also behind a 3D printed school project in Salima, central Malawi. Children in this area have started their education at the new 3D printed school, which was built in just 15 hours, using a computer-controlled nozzle that layered the concrete. The school can accommodate 50 students. According to UNICEF's estimate, Malawi is short of 36,000 primary school classrooms. 14 Trees Managing Director Francois Perroit says, its success shows how 3D printing could be transformative in Africa, where there is a dire shortage of classroom space. Mr. Perroit estimates that by using 3D printing technology, Malawi could close this gap in 10 years, which otherwise will take 70 years using conventional methods. Wow, this is great news to Malawi's children and teachers and the country's educational system. A big thank you goes to 14 Trees and all the people who are involved in this project.
Vegan, cause it's contradicting our loving nature to eat other beings.
Inspiring viewers, we'll pause for a moment now to thank heaven for all the physical comforts that we enjoy. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program, 3D Printing Technology, Affordable Housing Solution, Part 1 of 2. Besides using 3D printing technology to make construction faster and cheaper, architects are finding ways to build 3D printed houses from eco-friendly recycled materials, which will certainly have a hugely positive impact on the environment. Earlier this year, Mario Cucinella Architects and 3D printing specialist of WASP, or World's Advanced Saving Project, collaborated to build the first eco-sustainable 3D printed house using clay. The house is named Tetra and is located in Massa Lombarda, Italy. With an area of about 60 square meters, it is comprised of a living zone with a kitchen, a night zone that includes services, and a circular skylight on its roof. The Italian architects have combined ancient building techniques with modern technologies to form recyclable, low-carbon, climate-adaptable housing. A crane was constructed using a multi-leveled modular 3D printer with 2 printing arms that have been synchronized as part of the construction. The clay is arranged in undulating layers that not only provide structural stability but also act as a thermal barrier. Tetra can be synthesized in 200 hours of printing while consuming an average of 6 kilowatts of energy and reducing typical construction waste almost entirely, says the construction team. Next, University of California professors and students have worked together to build a cabin and its interior from recycled material that would otherwise go into the landfill. Let's view this lovely cabin together.
The tiles on the front facade are made out of local materials, Chardonnay grape skins from Sonoma, California. And the tiles are designed to hold succulents and air plants which thrive in the Northern California environment.
Enclosing the rest of the house are 4,500 3D printed ceramic tiles that we call the seed stitch tiles. They have this woven texture that's very reminiscent of stitching, and you can see the bumps that make this kind of micro surface that looks really beautiful in the light, and they hang very simply from the building, so it's easy to install. It can go up really quickly. The furniture is 3D printed. Even the coffee table is 3D printed. And the coffee cups on the coffee table are also 3D printed out of recycled coffee grounds. And this is really one of the big points of this cabin, which is that a number of the materials are ecologically driven. They're found from sustainable sources, waste streams. The entire interior is clad with a bioplastic that's derived from corn. And it's translucent and it glows at night. This cabin is not just a research project, but because it's weatherproof and watertight, one can actually live in here and sleep in here. It's a really functional, usable space that demonstrates the potential of 3D printing in construction and architecture.
You know, there are many things in this building that are basically traditionally constructed, but then on top of that, we've layered totally new ideas and totally new technologies.
We're upcycling materials that would otherwise go into the landfill, but instead we're giving those materials value by turning them into building products. The implications of this cabin are really vast. There's implications that have to do with the housing crisis here in the Bay Area, for example.
3D printed houses made of recycled materials are not only an affordable housing solution, but also a great way to protect our environment. We hope that 3D printed buildings will soon be developed in many more areas of the world.
You can't be an environmentalist, you can't be an ocean steward without truly walking the walk. And you can't walk the walk in the world of the future, the world ahead of us, the world of our children not eating a plant-based diet. James Cameron, vegan.
Cheerful viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us again next Monday for part 2 of 3D printing, an affordable and sustainable housing solution. Coming up next is Palomacy pigeon and dove adoptions, a haven for rescued bird people, part 1 of 2, right after noteworthy news. May your noble souls always be shielded by heaven's loving grace.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/GAT.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/GAT.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/GAT.
Τα προγράμματά μας προσφέρονται σε πολλές γλώσσες. Παρακαλούμε δείτε suprememastertv.com/schedule και suprememastertv.com/GAT.